Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. We've reached the semi-finals of Euro 2024 and England is still alive and sort of kicking. We'll get on to England versus Netherlands a little later in the show. But before we start off with Spain against France, we've had a couple of days off. We had a nice lunch yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Italian
did.
restaurant, that was fun. And Micah, you're a little bit tired.
Oh,
You've been playing in a match for the BBC against ITV.
correct.
El Capitano. Right. Today, we know they're better than us. But it doesn't matter. It's all about what you've got inside.
And
Where were you?
as far away as possible.
You didn't come for no support?
I didn't know where it was.
ITV had... What do you mean? I told you it was a game and you just dismissed it. Like you
Well, I
always do.
dismissed it when you told me he was playing. I thought it sounded like, who wants to wash this dross?
Wow, oh, God, don't come back. Don't come back.
What was it like?
Oh, my God. I was in there. I was like a young Shaka Hislop.
Or as
You
Jim,
must have played with him at Newcastle.
Micah, or as Jimmy Hill famously said at one time, we were doing something with Des Lyon and he went, Shagger Hislop. Did he? Did he really? Yeah, let's say Shagger Hislop.
Oh, be careful your language.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We don't want the newspapers on to us.
How on earth did anyone get past you?
Oh, I made a great penalty save
Did
against Jill Scott. Keno was there to tap it in though. As well.
What, a rebound?
A little rebound. But the teams weren't fair. We had me... Oh, Rio went in net for a spell. Useless. Useless. Honest to God, he comes out and shouts, makes, you know what it's like, Cockney or whatever it is. I go in for, a couple of halves. We conceded about 5 goals. It cost us a game today. We had Izzy Christensen, very good. Julien Laurent,
The
the
journo.
French journo. San Van Gelder.
How was he?
Analysis. He was class.
Really?
Was it? Well
On
done,
the
Sam.
ball,
Well done, Sam.
twisting and turning.
That's why his
And he had
analysis
big
is so
leaks in there.
Oh, yeah, it
I
had
was
to
a
end
star of the
somewhere.
show.
So who did ITV have? Gary Neville was playing, was he?
Gary Neville,
Can't run, can he? Can he?
useless as well. Oh, he can't turn.
And Keno
He
played?
can't move. Keno played. Keno was
Did he
good.
kick
His
anyone?
energy. He didn't kick anyone, but you could see like he was, he was animated.
Competitive.
You're better than that.
Who else did I have? Eni Luco. She's some nice finishes.
I heard
Did
you
anyone
s-
get injured?
Not that I know of.
Oh, that's all right.
Did
But
you-
I'm feeling it now.
Did you not smash anyone?
I smashed Pugac.
Did you? Pick on the little guy.
I come out my box and I thought, one of those, it was really a 60-40 to him. And I thought, okay, I need
Take a lot.
to leave one on him. I went right through him. But he took it well.
Yeah,
he took
did he?
it
Good.
well.
You picked him up, did you?
But yeah, we lost.
Oh, you
by
lost.
3 goals,
Shameful,
who else today?
shameful.
Mendieta, Keno, Gary Neville, Eni Luco, Jill Scott were all.
So what you're saying is you lost
Very good.
because you put Rio in goal and you went outside.
That's what happened, yeah. I should have stayed in there.
People often ask me, I don't know about you, Al, but do you ever play anymore? And I said, no, I've not played since the day I retired. Except for one game, which was a month after I retired, which was Gordon Banks' testimonial at Leicester. So I thought, no, you retire for a reason. You retire because you can't do it anymore. So why do you want to go and be crap? So my question to you is, Micah, why do you keep playing now? And how's your legs? And you're in agony, aren't
My
you?
knees, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oof, I'm feeling it.
That's
right
why
now.
I don't the same. I look at all these guys and I used to play on a weekly basis with my pals years and years ago, and I used to see guys coming off snapped Achilles, needing an operation on a knee. I'm thinking, what the f are you doing? That's going to be you one day. Stop, finish, end it. I played in a testimonial match, and I tried to beat the offside trap, bent my run and everything, and it would just come naturally. And then 3 seconds later, I felt my hammy in my back go. I said, just fucking end this, will you? So I've never played since then.
Before we come into the two semi-finals, we'll just go quickly through our predictions.
Do we have to?
Oh, yes. Let's see the last
That's
prediction.
it. Let's not bother.
No, I don't think we should bother. Unless we're going to bring in the old predictions as well.
Well, no, we'll all end up at the end of the
Okay,
tournament.
okay, fine.
I'll start with the last two games because we all said the same thing. We all got England and Netherlands. I think I predicted a penalty shootout for England win.
Yeah, you
did.
But do I get an extra point for
No,
that?
unfortunately
Okay,
not.
didn't think I would.
Good.
So let's start with, apart from the ones we've all got the same, Germany and Spain. I went Germany. Micah went Germany.
They were the better team.
And Alan went
Should've gone
Spain.
through.
Alan went Spain. Got lucky. Got very
You got
lucky.
lucky.
How
We
could you
did.
get lucky in a prediction?
Okay, give me the reasons why you went Spain.
I said they would win, and they've won. How could that be
But
fucking lucky?
I need more from you. For what
Said it was going to
reason?
be an incredibly tight game, but I'm just going to go for Spain. That's exactly how it was. Nothing luck about that.
Spain. Spain. Okay, so 1 to you, Al.
Yeah.
The next game, so that's actually 3-2-2. And then I went France. Alan went France. Micah went Portugal.
Portugal were the better side, wouldn't they?
Or what do you
France have been
an extra
rudderless.
point for that?
Hey?
You want an extra half point because
Well,
they
I
were the
mean,
better team?
France, yeah.
So it's 4-3-2.
I should get half a point, though.
It's been a
You,
bad couple of days for you,
you're
Micah.
not
Your
very
goalkeeping was let down.
He's not very good at this prediction, Lark, is he?
Remember the last ones with the Champions League? The Arsenal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
I got hammered. I don't want to do predictions again.
It's a dangerous game.
No, I'm not doing
predictions,
it.
'cause it's,
I'm not doing it.
It's the nature of football, though. The best team doesn't always win. I think Spain have probably been the best team in the tournament. Certainly the best of the four teams in the semi-finals. You could
Definitely.
make an argument
Agreed.
for Germany. But
I would totally agree with that. I think they've entertained, they've played really good football, scored goals, pressed. Yeah,
Are they the best team, though, because they're playing the football that we want to see in the tournament,
really,
or just because...
well, that's part of it, isn't it?
No, but, well, if France win the tournament playing like they do, you're not going to be, oh, France played rubbish in that tournament, are you? You know, now they're coming up, it's a big test now with, you know, the quality players that France have got now. But yeah, I'd probably agree with Spain as well.
Yeah, I think they have been. I think so. I mean, it's the sort of team, when you see that they're playing, you go, I want to watch that. As a neutral.
yeah. I mean, they've got two wingers, haven't they? And Yamal and Williams. They've been brilliant. They've attacked defenders and gone past them and created and scored, and I think they've been a really big plus for Spain, and that's one of the reasons I think why we've enjoyed watching them play.
I think it's been backed up by their midfielder, Spain. Rodri, we've talked about him many times before. He's just a leader, controls, dictates the play. But Fabian Ruiz, I watched him play in the Champions League for Napoli, and the way he moved, he's a bit better on the ball than Rodri. He can play better balls, probably forward, but he's just so elegant on the ball as well. And in that Champions League, I can't remember who it was. I was like, he's going big places. Then he goes to PSG, does exactly the same at PSG, and he's sort of been a little bit under the radar in terms of Spain. If you look at maybe 2 years ago, coming into the tournament with like Spain, their sort of golden generation, maybe just left them behind. But actually in this tournament, it's almost like it's a fresh breed. And losing Pedri was massive with the injury. Olmo comes on, scores a goal. They've just got options in every position. So
How big a miss will Pedri be?
I think it'll be a big miss in terms of the control. But in terms of how Spain want to play and in which they attack and how fast they attack, playing someone like Olmo in that position actually suits them. And they've got that.
He's got a
what's
goal
it-
in him almost as well.
Ayathabal. Is that all right?
Oyarzábal.
I can't get the Ayathabal.
That's close enough.
It's close enough?
That'll do.
He did
As
quite
well,
get the role of the R in there.
he's a player as well. He's at Sociedad, so I think they've got players in all attacking positions
Carvajal
to hurt you.
suspended,
Correct.
Yeah.
so I think he'll be a big miss as well. And centre half suspended as well.
Norman.
Le
Norman.
Normand.
Norman. Sounds French, that
That
doesn't
does
it?
sound. I think there must be a bit of French background to that. It doesn't sound very Spanish at all.
No.
Lamine Yamal, 14 chances he's created at Euro 2024, the most by a teenager at a major tournament that Opta has on record.
Wow.
16. I mean, and we kept.
He's
keep
seven. I
saying
think he's 17 the day before the final.
Wow.
If they get through.
Well, you got to look at the matchups, haven't you?
Well, he's still going to be 17. So it doesn't matter whether they get through or not. He's still going to be 17 day before the final.
You pedantic twat. I've not pulled you up on any of your pronunciations at all. I completely left out the way you said Fabian.
What is it?
Fabian Ruiz.
Come on, I can't.
No, but
I'm from Chapeltown in Yorkshire. You want me to get all the lingo?
I'm just saying. Yeah.
But you look at the key battles. We're looking at the battles. So we talk about Yamal. He's up against
Yamal.
Hernandez, who loves to go forward. Is that going to be the matchup? We're looking at the space in behind. On the other side, you got Williams as well against Koundé of Barcelona.
Who's really
he's a centre half. He's a centre half, but he's actually played well. Yeah. He's been solid. And then you're looking at someone like Saliba. Can Morata sort of penetrate them runs in behind? It's going to be interesting to see how it matches up. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably go just Spain.
I mean, France have been
found a way. They've been turgid. They've not scored. I mean, not to get this far without scoring a goal in open play.
It's incredible. 2 own goals and a penalty.
Yeah.
1 goal for Mbappe. Mbappe's been poor, hasn't he? I mean, that must be the.
I think it's affecting him. I mean, I've said it in the coverage that I'd reliable information that he's struggling with it. He can't sleep, and unless you're the sort of person that can sleep on the back, it must be like, well, must be rubbish. But and then he came off, didn't he? Before the penalty shootout, but it didn't seem to affect them in that sense. I also heard that that Didier Deschamps, who always said, it's no point practicing penalties because you can't replicate the, which I always thought was such a nonsensical argument, because, it's like saying, imagine a golfer, obviously if you've got a 6-foot putt to win the British Open, for example, you said, I've never practiced because this is the most nerve-wracking putt I'll ever have in my life. It won't help. It's the one thing you can actually practice in football that is going to pan out in a football match if you get a penalty, because it's you
just can't recreate the atmosphere or the
no,
but you can definitely practice absolutely.
And if you've hit 100 penalties in the same corner and then you go on the spot, you're slightly more confident than having gone into it without hitting one penalty. I mean, it's just mad. And Didier Deschamps has now gone along the lines of I was wrong and we started practicing before, and it's worked. They got through.
They like England scored 5 really good penalties to get through, but their defence has been solid. Say what you want. I mean, they've got so many options, but none of them have worked yet in terms of forward positions. Yeah. They've tried everyone, haven't they?
They've looked unbalanced at times.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, and I mean, Mbappe is going to play, and he'll probably play on the left-hand side. But where they're strong is defensively. Only 1 goal conceded, I think, France. So.
I don't think either Moani or Thuram have really worked. I think,
Griezmann hasn't. Dembele hasn't.
Well, Griezmann's played in about 3 different positions in this tournament. So they've been trying to find that balance. But even Mbappe played up top in
Barcola?
Yeah,
He hasn't really worked either, so...
I think that team, though, is similar to the Portugal side, where when they get into the attacking half, they're always looking for Mbappe. They don't make their own decisions. You watch Portugal play, and every time you're thinking, just take responsibility, just looking for where Ronaldo is. And I think it's altering. We did that game where Mbappe was basically playing as a striker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But it was just going to the left. Yeah. So in terms of the combinations, what are you supposed to do? And that's why I think the balance is not right. I agree with that as well, guy.
I'll be interested to see how Real Madrid do it.
Yeah.
Because,
well, the players that they've got...
Vinicius Junior likes to play on the left and Mbappe likes to play.
But he can run in behind Vinicius Junior, can't he? He's very intelligent. He can play anywhere. Mbappe will play on the left, I think.
I think he will.
Agreed.
It'd be interesting to see if he can play with his back to goal, though. Vinicius Junior. It's different. It's a totally different thing when you're facing away from the goal. to actually running at players because his skill is beating people. So that's for another day. That's for another day. Okay, who are we going for?
So you're going for Spain?
I don't. Wait, hold on. I know I just said that if I had to pick one, I'd pick Spain, but
I know who I'm going for.
Go on,
go first.
France.
Why?
Because of their defence and because of the players that Spain have got missing. So I'm just going to edge for France.
Ooh, I like that argument. Like a politician.
Why have you got glasses on, Mark? Is it sunny in here?
Lights in my eyes.
You're just trying to hide a hangover or something.
I'm in a bad way, guys.
He had a heavy day, lunch. We had a heavy lunch yesterday. He's gone and played football this morning.
Well, getting up for that.
Oh, can we talk about this 3 weeks, though? We've been drinking for 3 weeks. My body's shut down.
You don't have to drink.
I need to see a therapist. I need to see somebody.
You definitely need to see a therapist, yeah.
You'll be checking into the Betty Ford clinic when you get back. When you get back,
I'm gonna go with you.
Are you really?
I'm gonna go with France. I went against Kylian Mbappe before.
Just because I had the last 4 right, you're not going to copy me.
So if we get it wrong, we can both get hammered.
France, yeah.
I'm gonna go with France. Yeah, defensively, counter attack. Kylian Mbappe is gonna turn up. Dembele's going to turn up and Griezmann's going to turn up.
Well said, both of you. That means I'm going to go Spain. I was going to go Spain anyway.
Was it?
Yeah, I think the French have been too lucky to get this far. I can't see their luck sustaining. I don't think they've been very good, and I think Spain have been great. So, Spain for me. We're going to look forward to the England-Netherlands semi-final. Now, there's a bit of a story breaking, a little bit of a storm, actually, around the referee for this game, who is a chap called Felix Zweier. I don't know whether you say it like that, or Zweier. It's a referee who was involved in a scandal quite a long time ago. He was the referee that Jude Bellingham criticised in 2021, I'll quote Jude Bellingham. He said, "You give a referee that has match fixed before the biggest game in Germany. What do you expect?" Bellingham was fined £40,000 for German football officials for that, but avoided a ban. So basically, the 43-year-old referee admitted to taking money from a banned referee, Robert Heuser, who was accused of match fixing, but not of altering the outcome of a game. And when this came to light, Zweier was hit with a 6-month ban.
Wow.
Now, it seems...
That's incredible.
I mean, that he's got a semi-final of the European Championship with that sort of backstory seems... I mean, it's not obviously it's not accusing him in that particular thing of, or he wasn't charged with match fixing, but he was charged with taking money from someone who was.
That's okay then.
Yeah.
I just wonder...
Try and work that one out.
I wonder how UEFA have managed to come up with that. And obviously there's a bit of history there between him and Jude Bellingham, who I presume was talking about the German Cup final.
Yeah, it was when he was at Dortmund.
Yeah, Dortmund Bayern.
How to get people talking before a game then.
Well, yeah.
It's just not needed, is it?
No.
It's just it's not a good look.
But anyway, England, Netherlands. Netherlands have been kind of, I suppose, inconsistent. They've been good and they've been not so good. But in the last couple of games, have certainly shown something. They were very good against Romania after the first 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, they were third in their group, weren't they? So in the group stage, they weren't great. But they have definitely got better the last 2 knockout games. And they've had to. Van Dijk in there. Gakpo, has he got 3 goals? Depay got 1 goal. Bit up and down he's been, hasn't he?
Marlon
came on, got a couple of goals, didn't he?
Of goals.
Yeah, he looked very good when he came on
did,
against
yeah.
Romania.
Yeah.
He's a good player,
Yeah.
though.
But they did give up a lot of chances against Turkey. I know Turkey had to go for it towards the end, but they had clear chances.
Yeah, they did, but they've got experience with Ake and Van Dijk and De Vrij.
Well, there's a lot of quality in that side, Netherlands.
Dumfries, do you remember him at the last
Yeah,
Euros?
he was really good, yeah.
He's more playing like a wing-back then, wasn't he? He's playing more right-back in this system that they play. I think they're similar to England, where they can hurt you if you give them time. I don't think they're a great side. I think subs are good for them. Marlon coming on in the game. Memphis Depay's not been, and you did an analysis piece on him saying he's sort of hot and cold. But Gakpo,
They've only really played against, I suppose, one of the top teams. That would be France, which was fairly drab, 0-0, wasn't it? And actually, France were the better side, I think, on that occasion, weren't they?
Yeah, as I said, they've improved. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they're a great side. I mean, it was a big blow to them losing Frankie
De Jong before the tournament.
to injury. It was a bit of a big blow for them.
Yeah. I think Reinders and Schouten have been
been
fairly solid in midfield. But I suppose the issue that the Dutch will have against England is that four-man box that England have and whether they outnumber them in those areas of the pitch.
Yeah. If I look back to the Switzerland game, in terms of rotations, when I'm looking at the analysis and all the combinations, that sort of thing, Switzerland are a really good side. When you look at the Netherlands, they don't really have them combinations. They've just got players who can hurt you, similar to England as well. So I don't know what to expect, if I'm being totally honest. They've got experienced pros. They've got good quality when needed. But, yeah, I think if England are on it, I think we can win this game.
Weghorst has been on a few times and he's substituting done well. He's a really good option for them, isn't he?
Yeah, he gives them something.
I think the Dutch media are maybe shouting for him to be more involved, but I do think he'll start with him on the bench.
It's funny, it reminds me, I think I mentioned it before, but I don't mind mentioning it again, that, Johan Cruyff, for all the, total football and the beautiful game, if we were down with 5-10 minutes to go in a game, he'd stick our centre-half, big Alex Sanko, great guy, the captain, and he'd put him up top and we'd launch it in the box. And so, if needs must.
Yeah.
It's not just England that did that. Long throws, see. And he's that kind of option, isn't he? He's like the big lad up front.
It's worked for them in the World Cup.
Came on, scored two goals, including that amazing free kick move.
Yeah,
in the quarter-final.
So yeah, he's a definite option for them.
Yeah.
So
do they have a kind of similar issue, don't they, in the number 9 spot, in the sense that they have a player that's not really comfortable pressing with Depay?
Yeah,
but he's capable of.
I did the analysis, didn't I? Micah just said about him. Yeah, there's no doubt there's ability in there, but he is hot and cold. He's had one really good finish. He took it really quickly, didn't he? The volley.
He was unlucky when he hit a free kick under the wall.
Yeah, he was.
When they didn't have a
clever
draft exclude, as they call it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to press. You can see that in the analysis bits we did. But he'll be a threat. He's got ability, no doubt.
Yeah, England, do they stick with the same system?
I think what he'll do is he'll start with, I think he'll bring Gehi back in instead of for Konza.
Shorin?
Obviously, I haven't got a clue, but I don't think he will.
I think Shaw has said that he's now
ready.
fit to start. He said that. He's not saying he will start. He said he's fit to start. I suspect I think he will start, sure. Left wing back?
Wing back. Okay.
I think we'll go the same system. I think it'd be slightly odd to go back to a system that wasn't working. And you've got the same problem again of that balance on the left-hand side, which he never addressed in 4 matches, and then did address, even though it was still Trippier, and he's not naturally left. But you put Shaw in there, then you've got a lovely balance. He's not played football for an awfully long time, but he came on, he looked fine.
Yeah, he did.
Now, I know it's different when you come on, but I think you're better off starting and seeing how much you can get out of him and then changing it when people are tired and bringing on fresh legs. Or, because if he comes on as sub and then he breaks down, then you're in trouble. So I think he'll start. I don't know. I have no inside information whatsoever, but you don't think they'll change systems now, do you? Not now he's found something that actually worked better.
I think he'll do a bit of both, during the game.
Maybe.
I don't see that being an issue if you want to change it to how he started, or then in the first 4 matches, or go to what he did in the last game. Although we did improve, I still feel we've got a couple of gears to go, England.
Well, I would hope so with the talent that's there. But you're better off starting slowly and getting gradually better in a tournament than the other way around.
Absolutely. We've said it. When you look at the 4 teams in the semi-finals, there's only one that, for the whole of the tournament, really, I think have played well. So,
I honestly think that. I think the last performance was encouraging in the first half, and I think there was a togetherness in the side, and then the fact that they won that penalty shootout with 5 perfect penalties. For me, I looked at them at the end of the game there, and whereas the one before, they were sort of, I think they were relieved more than anything else. But this one, I think there was a joy there, and there's like a weight off their shoulders, and I think they might come out and really perform in this game. Or it might just be wishful thinking. Well, it is wishful thinking.
So what team would we go with? What would be our team?
I think I'd bring Gay back. Would you, for Konza or not?
That is the question.
It's yeah.
I think he will. I think he's loyal, Gareth.
Yeah.
But Konza did so well. He didn't put a foot wrong in the whole game.
So did Gay.
So did Gay.
I mean, in the 4 games,
He was
I
our
think
best.
He was
It's
possibly one
England's
of our
best player.
him and Saka has been great, and Saka was great, but I think he'll bring
Gay's
back.
pace is
Yes,
really important, I think, as well. And he's more natural on that side.
Yeah.
I think. But I mean, the good thing is that there isn't. Whereas before the game, we we're all going, "Oh God, Gay's out. Who we could put in?" But the fact that he's come in and done well means that if anything happens to anyone at the back, things are good, because we all know it's a tournament. It's football. It means you need a big squad, and things happen. Things happen in games. People get injured. You suddenly change the system or whatever it is. So I think he'll do that. I think Walker again works really well on that side because he's so good defensively, and that was the reason that Saka could play so high. Because even if he doesn't get back, you've got Walker behind, who's the best in the business at that. So I think he'll go that way.
I think we need to talk about the midfield, though, because we've talked about Rice and Mainu. I thought Mainu in the last game against Switzerland was a key player for us in terms of bringing the ball out, being comfortable on it, getting it in tight
so relaxed,
areas.
isn't he?
He's so relaxed. But what do we need to do to create more opportunities? We've talked about the strike. We've talked about Kane and his position. We've talked about that. But we've got 2 number 10s now in Bellingham and Foden, who we keep saying the best.
Well, I think all our play is really good until it gets around the edge of the box. But that is where because neither Foden or Bellingham will do a bit, but they're not naturals at running past Kane. So that is the issue. Now, I mean, he's not going to start with someone else, but even after an hour, you could see how things are going. You could, because most of these games are tight for a while anyway, and then you could bring on someone like Watkins, which I think would then release Foden and Bellingham because he constantly looks behind. And whilst obviously he's not the player Harry Kane is, he's also a very different option, which I think might enhance the team's chances. I know that sounds strange because he's your best goal scorer, but there's nothing wrong with not playing 90 minutes.
Of course.
Even if it's your captain, there's nothing wrong at all. Or you could do it the other way. You could start with Watkins, run them ragged, create the space for the midfield, see how it goes, and then you can always bring Harry Kane on. Now, he's not going to leave out Harry Kane, but all I'm talking about here is the options that Gareth Southgate has. I'm not saying he should do one thing or the other, but I think it's very important to realise that you've got those options and don't put yourself in a position where, like a Portugal or someone, where they can't take off their talisman. Because, and I think it's the same with them, because of this almost desperation to feed Ronaldo all the time.
Correct.
Great players are inhibited. And I don't think you want to do that. And if the way that Kane plays doesn't suit Foden and Bellingham, what's the most important thing? An individual or the team?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's he won't. There's no way he's leaving his captain and record goal scorer out.
No, but I'm saying have that other option available to you. Don't be scared of it.
He's got Tony as an option as well, who, when he did bring him on in the round of 16 game, he helped create the winner. So he penalty the other day.
He's kind of similar to Harry, though. So if you bring in Tony instead of Kane, you've kind of got a similar. He's great back to his goal, which is fine if you play high, but he tends to drop a bit as well. So I think it's a similar option. I think he's there. He's the perfect kind of replacement for if anything had happened to Harry Kane before the tournament. But I think Watkins is the one who gives you something else, because all of a sudden, if you're in trouble, or even if the team's flowing, you can play a really high aggressive press, because all those players are normally accustomed to that. So it's just I'm just putting it out there.
But I think we're too reliant on Saka getting the ball wide to him.
obviously you want to go to him because he's the player in form.
Yeah. But if Shaw's in and can do that, he's very good going forward and not wide on the left, isn't he?
I just think if we've been crying out to get Foden in the number 10, and he played way better. But still, if you've got a number 10, first thing you think comes to your head when you're number 10, you've got to play the ball forward quickly. You've got, and we talk about Harry Kane, and he comes deep, but he's still got good movement. So his movement needs to be better. So then they can play the passes forward quicker. Everything we do when we get round the box, it's just too slow. And I think if we want to go to that next level, then that's what I think we need to do.
Do you take pens now?
Me? What would you take pens?
Would you go?
I'd sign up for it right now.
Really?
100%.
He'd sign up for it, but he wouldn't take one.
With Pickford's record on penalties.
I think
I saved a pen today. Did you not see it?
Yeah, but yet someone come and tapped it in. Or Roy come and tapped it in, didn't he?
Yeah, but I saved
Should have
it.
held it. Why didn't you hold it?
Was it semi-final Euros, was it? Harry Kane and Kasper Schmeichel, was it? A bit like that. Did you actually dive or did it hit your feet?
No, I dived.
Did you?
I was agile.
Oh, yeah.
For a big man, I'm agile.
The cat.
The cat.
Cat.
The black cat.
So, while we're on the subject of penalties, Jordan Pickford has saved 4 out of 14 that he's faced in shootouts and major tournaments. I think he saved one in every one of Gareth Southgate's
Been brilliant.
tournaments.
Let's give him some credit. He gets a lot of stick, Pickford, doesn't he? For him being very animated on the side.
I don't mind
He's never
animation.
let England down, not even once.
No. And his
In
homework
big
was
moments,
superb.
he's always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, distribution could be a little bit better. He kicks it a little bit, too often high up the pitch. But in terms of his reactions and what you want for your goalkeeper, the first thing is to save the ball. He does it all the time.
Agreed, yeah.
That's a really good point. I've got a feeling England might come to life in this game because they're going to play against a team that will be more adventurous than the teams that played against them. I was surprised that Switzerland played kind of deep in the first half and were very cautious, but that maybe because England drove them that way. I thought they addressed that a little bit. The initial period after half-time was very good for England for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then they really dropped off, which you expect in a game, and we were all crying for fresh legs. And that was their moment, wasn't it? In that
Euro
particular
96
game.
all over again then, is that what you're saying? Big win for England.
What, lose a shootout in the semi-finals?
No, against the Netherlands.
What game was that? I can't remember. Did you? Oh, is
think
that
they'll
one?
win comfortably.
Well, you sliced it.
When I sliced it,
Sliced it in the top corner.
Shanked it.
Yes,
Shanked
Al.
it.
You never know. Let's hope so. I mean, obviously, at times like this, our hearts are all ahead. But I fancy England. I'm going England.
Yeah.
And I think we'll do it in normal time this time.
Okay.
Brave and bold from me.
England, just maybe extra time.
I'm the same as you, Micah. I think England just might have to go all the way.
So
again.
we're all England now.
All
Of
England.
course
We can't
are.
say
How can we
anything else,
not?
can we?
Can you imagine?
Can I ask you a question before you wrap up? Obviously, we've got teammates for club playing against each other internationally. So you've got Van Dijk. I think you've got the list there, guys.
We've got Ake, obviously. Man City, Van Dijk, Liverpool, Gakpo, Liverpool. Bergwijn was Spurs.
It was Spurs.
It's not now, though.
Not now,
No,
but
yeah.
we know of his game.
Yeah. Depay, obviously, is at Manchester United. Weghorst, Burnley, and then
Man United.
Manchester United. Van de Ven, Spurs, Gravenberch, Liverpool, and Wijnaldum, of course, was at Liverpool as well. So, yeah. I mean,
What's it like?
there's
What's
been-
it like when you're playing against?
Well,
your
I did it. I
teammates?
did it with when I played. There weren't that many foreign players in the England game. There were a few, but obviously I played in Barcelona, and it was the other way around. So it was great when we beat them, and because I flew with them to Madrid to meet up with the England team. It was only a friendly, but it was in Bernabeu. That's when friendlies were quite valued because you didn't play anything like the amount of qualifiers we now do. And we played them there. I travelled over from Barcelona to Madrid and went playing with them. And they're just, the footballers are footballers, aren't they? There's banter and stuff. They were giving me loads. And
On the pitch.
no, on the plane.
On the plane.
they were giving me loads. And then we beat them 4-2 and scored all 4. The flight back with them was joyous.
Was
I
it?
bet, yeah.
Was absolutely joyous. So yeah, I think there's banter, but when you're on the pitch, you don't go, oh, he's my. You don't even think that way. It's like weird.
I wonder if the Man City boys would have spoken to Pickford about Akanji taking a penalty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean,
I would imagine so.
maybe I can't remember too many penalties that he's taken.
Yeah.
But whether they've done in training or what, they've just given him a little hint saying, I think he'll go to the left.
You know, I was reading this morning that the England players have been banned from talking about their approach towards penalties. And absolutely right too. Why would you want to give anything away?
Exactly.
But you've got to gloat, haven't you? I think.
Don't gloat.
Not gloat, but you've got.
It was brilliant.
It was
planned. It was planning. They practiced. And also they're great penalty takers. So any game if England get to you'd be favourites in a penalty shootout. Obviously, still things can go wrong. You can lose, but
What about you, Al? Anyone international you played with at club? Do you have a bit of banter on the pitch?
Oh, you do, don't you? It's the same as like in the tunnel, or even if you've seen them an hour before the game, shake their hand, give them a cuddle, give them one of them as they walk by.
I mean, the Spanish goalkeeper when I banged in the 4, right? So he's, I think I might have told this, but I'll tell you, it doesn't matter. So Zubi Zareta, who was, he ended up being director of football at Barcelona for years. Great guy, loveliest guy, Zubi. We all call him Zubi, and he was one of those piss takers, on the plane and all the way out, and obviously Terry Venables had been the coach, whose Spanish was good, but he also used quite a lot of English words and particularly expletives and stuff. And at the end of the game, after I scored 4, Thubi came into the dressing room, our dressing room.
Did he?
And he came over to me and he shook my hand and he went, "Fucking hell!" in a perfect Cockney accent.
Did he?
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. I had to give him a big hug. And he was so. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a semi-final of the Euros or anything. It was totally different. But yeah, there's always that banter.
Yeah,
But on the pitch when you're playing, I mean, you just get on with it. Don't you?
You do,
Don't
yeah,
you?
you do. Yeah.
Anyway, here's being hopeful. But we're semi-final.
We're there.
It's another chance.
Another chance.
You keep banging on the door. Eventually, one will open. Even if it's not this time, in the future. But knockout football, it's tough. It's tough. But we're all going England.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. That's all for today's episode of The Rest Is Football. Don't forget the first semi-final, Spain against France. That's tonight, live on BBC One. We're on air from 7:30 in the UK, and looking forward to a cracking game with no pressure. No pressure. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
What's pressure for?
Tyres, goodbye from me.